Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are going to learn how to determine the domain and range from a graph. So domain are basically the x values in the graph and range are the y values. Let's begin with an example. For each relation, state the domain and range and whether the relation is a function. In one of my video, I have explained you the three ways to check a relation is a function or not by using ordered pairs, graphs, and equation. The link is in the description box below. Go check out the link. That link would be very helpful in understanding today's lesson. So let's move to the first part of our today's lesson. Okay, so we have given a graph and we can see in the graph we have just given the dotted points. So how can we figure out the domain and range of the A part? Okay, again the domain are the x values, right? So we can see, put your pointer at the first dot and moving upward, the x is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So means in the domain we have the points -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Or we can write down the domain in terms of interval notation. Let's say x belongs to real numbers and all the x values that are between -3 and +3 are covering in the domain of this relation, right? Let me write down the range. Okay, now again the range are the y values. So put the pointer on the first dot and the y value is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the range is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, or we can say that y belongs to real numbers and all the y values between -2 and +4 are covering in the range of this function in terms of an interval notation. Okay, now we need to determine that the given relation is a function or not. Okay, so for the function, the domain must be unique, like I explained in my previous video. Okay, so we can see the domain is -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the domain is unique. So we can say that the given relation is a function. Right? Let's move to the B part. Okay, let's figure out the domain and the range of the B part. Okay, again the domain are the x values. So put your pointer at the first circle and the x is starting at -5 and the top line ends at +5 and the second line starts at +5 and ends at, let's say after 10 it's 11. So we can say that the x values that are covering in the domain of this relation is from -5 to +11, right? So let me write down the domain. X belongs to real numbers and all the x values that are between -5 and +11 are covering in the domain of this relation, right? Okay, now we can see at the starting point -5 we have just a circle. So we are just using a sign of less than. But at the ending point we have a circle and it's filled from inside. So we have to use a sign of less than and equals to. So we have an equality when the circle is filled, right? Now let me figure out what is the range of this relation. Okay, now we have given the two lines. So the line that is at the bottom, here we can say the y value is 2. And the line at the top, the y value, let's say above 5, that is 6. So we have just the two values in the range, the 0.2 and the 0.6. These are the 2 points in the range. Now let's figure out is the given relation is a function or not. So for the function, the domain must be unique. So we can say that the domain is from -5 to +11 since the domain is unique. So we can say that the given relation is a function. Right? Let's move to the C part. Okay, let's figure out what is a domain and the range of number C. Okay, so we can see in the third relation we have given a graph of a parabola. And how can we figure out the domain? Domain are the x values, and we can see the parabola is extending from downward. So means the x values from the right side it is extending, and the x values from the left side is also extending. Right? So we can say that the domain of this parabola is x belongs to real numbers. It means all the x values are covering in the domain. Right? Now let's figure out the range, the y value. So here the top point of the parabola is 3. And below this 3, all the y values are covering in this parabola. So we can say that the range is y belongs to real numbers and all the y values that are less than or equals to 3 are in this parabola. Now let's see the given relation is a function or not. Okay, we know that when we have given a graph, how can we check that the relation is a function? We can check that relation is a function by using a vertical line test. So let's draw a vertical line and let's see the graph is satisfying a vertical line test or not. So let me draw a vertical line at any point. Okay. Okay, I drew the vertical line and we can see the vertical line only cuts the parabola at one point. It means the vertical line test is satisfying. It means the given relation is a function. Okay, moving to the D part. Let me figure out what is a domain and the range of the D part. Okay, again the domain are the x values. So the x values are covering between these two red dots, and here it is -5 and here it is +5. So we can say that the domain is x belongs to real numbers and all the x values that are between -5 and +5 are covering in this circle. Right? Okay, let's move to the range now. The range is the y values, the top point that is 5 and the bottom point that is covered in this range is -5. And all the points between -5 and +5 are covering in the range. So we can say that y belongs to real numbers and all the y values that are between -5 and +5 are in the range of this circle. Right? Okay, now we have to figure out the given relation is a function or not. Again, it is a graph, so we can satisfy a vertical line test. So let's see the given graph is satisfying a vertical line test or not. Let me draw a vertical line. Okay, now we can see the vertical line cuts the circle at 2 points. The vertical line test is not satisfying. So we can say that the given relation is not a function. Why it is not a function? Because it is not satisfying a vertical line test. Vertical line meets the curve at 2 points. Right? So I hope you understand how to find the domain and range from a graph. If you want to watch more and get updated, then please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon for the latest updates.